Testing, testing. 1, 2. Looks like my audio is working okay. Give it one more minute here. Alrighty. Let's see if we can't get this thing started. Do that. Do that. Look at that. The 1080p makes its appearance. The quality difference is actually kind of insane, dude. You don't know how bad you have it until you get something better. That 720p just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Alright, so let's start here. Obviously my team went 1 and did we go 1 and 4? I don't think we won a game. Did we? Surely not. I think we got swept. Hold on. That's a bad start. No, we did win a game. We won game 2. Yeah. Brutal series. I'm gonna cope a little bit. We obviously did not have balls to you for that game, for that series. Seemingly, he's going to make an appearance this week. He's been down to scrim this week. Unfortunately, the rest of the team has not. But Jarvis has his personal phone number now, so that's a good start. So hopefully we'll have him for this week. I'll say this, HG, really impressive for House Freedom Blockus. Outside of that, though, like, I know this, it's going to sound horrible because we went 1-4 and I tried to trade everyone after we lost the series. Honestly, they didn't feel that good. Like, I know they 4-1'd us, but they did not feel that good. And understand that pass the flag, and I don't say this in a toxic way, compared to balls, I mean, it's just not close. The difference between balls to you and passes, it's not close. I think if we have balls to you, we probably handle them pretty easily. And I'm a bit less, or I'm a bit more optimistic now, almost a week after, that we'll be able to get a full lineup in this Monday. Again, balls has been responding more. Seems like we'll have him for game day, so I'm curious to see. I think our week 2 will go better. 2007 mic quality, so true. That's next on the list. We'll get there. So that's my series number 1. Couple other series that were interesting to me. So if you had read my 18 thoughts. I thought Powerpuff Girls and ICP was going to be one of the better games of the week. I think it delivered on that. What I was shocked by was how dominant Sugar was. To me, that series was all about, it's 2P and RB on one side, it's Sugar on the other, and just because ICP has those two versus, Powerpuff Girls just having one Sugar, that felt like an ICP advantage to me. Certainly was not the case. I think Sugar capped something like 16 times, leads the league by a wide margin. Yeah, leads the league by 4. And then you go look at his defensive stats, 28th in returns as well, which, by the way, there's 18 teams in this league. That's 36 primary defenders. I guess 34 if you count my team. But an offender should not be making an appearance on the top 30 return list. And Sugar is, and obviously Asita I think helps with that. But what a carry job from Sugar this week. They go 3 out of 5, and one of their losses is an overtime loss. Who I think ICP. I screwed with them last week. I think that's one of the better teams in the league. So Sugar looks to be game wrecker. Was sort of surprised to see. So Refined, Blots and Tea Party, they sweep Ball Too Well. The game's not particularly close. And just to clarify here, when I say not close, if you're consistently losing games by 2 caps, that to me is not close. And certainly, Blots and Tea Party was winning by a lot more than that. The caveat being, of course, Eldon not here for this week. Eldon does have a massive minutes restriction. I think it's 150 minutes. So she'll have to miss 2 more series throughout the course of the season. So Mueller subs in, had I believe the 100 niche in Novice last season, 100 D niche. I guess not good enough because Blots and Tea Party they were absolutely dominant. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if Ball Too Well improves with Eldon back. Eldon probably better than Mueller, sure. But I don't know if she's the difference between losing some of these games by 5 and 4 and 3. I question that. Maybe a distance issue? I don't know. I can try to eat it if I need to. I can also turn myself down. Maybe that's part of the problem. It's like overgaining. Try that and see if that's any better. And by the way, since I've not plugged it yet, in Twitch chat, reminder you can join this Discord. Join the Nightcap Waiting Room voice channel. And if you want to call in with a take on this past week or upcoming week or home maps or anything you like, really, you can feel free to do that. We'll drag you into the stream. Get your call in. None of the, I won't say the full team name because we don't have time for that, but Tag Prof's team, they go 2 wins, 2 overtime losses against OPH. To me, that's a big cause of concern for them. I think you look at OPH's roster. To me, that's a decent team. That's not a great team. And to lose 3 out of 5 against them, it's tough. I think yes, on offense, probably not having the impact. Well, I say probably not. I think definitely not having the impact that he would on that team is if he played defense instead. I don't know. I don't know if Jate's the answer either. To play defense across some 7s. You look statistically, 7s is like doing awesome. I don't know, just something about that team feels off. If they're supposed to be mover favorites, you can't lose 3 games against OPH. I don't care overtime or otherwise. So to me, that calls into question kind of how legitimate Tag Prof's team is. Flaccid, you haven't missed too much. I actually was going to talk about you here. So I was kind of looking through the EUs with the Papranos Pop Fusties game series, and it was weird to me because you go look at the stats, right, and like Pop Fusties are putting up these like massive prevent numbers, but they're losing. They lose 4 out of 5 games. And again, I say it's not close. Most of these games are 2 cap differential. Game 5's 4 cap differential, right? They win their 1 game by 1 cap. So, Paprano's clearly a better team, I think. It's just, the stats didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So, watched a couple of the Willow games. I don't know. It's just like their prevent is super empty. Like, you look up at the end of the game, Cheese Doodle in Game 5 had like almost 3 minutes of prevent, which is great. But they lost sets too, and it's like they're not, I don't know, it's not doing anything. It was just very odd, and I don't know, I think Irony not playing well enough, and the combo of Cheese and Casually, I think not doing enough either, prevent numbers or otherwise. So, I don't know. And again, I think I had Flaccid Trip's team as a contender in the preseason, so you don't feel too horrible to lose games to them. You know? But just watching the two Willow games back, they just, I don't know, it was like a lot of like stupid mechanical errors. Like, they died a couple of times to put themselves past 3 or 4 for no reason. You know, the prevent was nice, like I said, but like it wasn't doing it. I don't know. It was just very strange. So I think Cheese Doodle and Casually, I don't know, they've got to be better. I think Irony needs to show why he was a prelim and perform better too. You look at Button stats and the hold numbers are high. I think like you expect out of him, but they're just missing something. Mechanically, decision making wise, they're lacking something. And it cost them big time against Piranhas. Again, they only win one game. Maybe noteworthy to bring up We the People versus Mercury Revolutions. Again, We the People, one of my Mooper favorites. Again, if you're Mercury Revolutions, maybe you can take some consolation in the fact that, you know, you won a game, one loss was in overtime. But again, you're losing pretty consistently by a couple of caps, and that might make you an okay, decent team. That's not going to make you a Mooper contender. So, I don't know. I think Mercury Revolutions are about where I thought they'd be coming into the season. Middle of the pack, probably a decent team, but not competing for the top. I think that's what that series against We the People shows. Let's see, what series have we touched on yet? Mercury had a sub. Who'd you have? Hold on. I swear I looked at this prior. You had Admania, that was in place of, don't tell me, that was in place of... Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that was in place of My Dino. Okay, well that makes a difference. I'll give you that. My Dino's only a 50-minute restriction, right? So he should be back for the remainder of the season. I will say this though, to Flaccid's point. Alright, so ignore everything I just said about you guys, Logi, by the way. We'll wait to judge you with Mike Dino on the team. What to Flaccid's point, and I meant to talk about this earlier. So many substitutes to start this week, like to start the season. It's actually kind of wild. So like, someone was requesting a list of players who had been loaned because they were planning on loaning a player, and Beast Mode replied to them with a list of who hadn't been loaned yet, or who had been loaned, and there was like 5 or 6 players already. So like Swag filled in. I think that was for Converse Ball Stars, potentially. Admania, we talked about, filled in for the Mercury Reds. Glizzy had shown up for House Freedom Blockus, who, by the way, I think that was more of a lateral move for them, right? So we went Balls to You, PTF. They went, I'll find their actual player here in a second. They went Steve Potato to Glizzy. I honestly think Glizzy might be an upgrade there. So again, more cope from me. Mueller got loaned, PTF got loaned, so yeah, a lot of loans. So that was really interesting to see. And we had players with minutes restrictions entering the season, but it didn't seem more than it didn't seem out of ordinary the amount of players that had minute restrictions. So surprised to see. I guess everyone decided to take their 50-minute restriction in week 1. Which I question whether they actually needed a minute restriction if they could choose to have it this week. I don't particularly think Monday, January 22nd is some special day. Is it? Is that MLK Day? It is, isn't it? I don't get that day off, so don't crucify me for that. But regardless, do people have MLK Day plans? I don't think so. I don't know. It was just weird to see so many people miss week 1. MLK is on the 15th. Okay. So I don't know what it was about this week. That was definitely odd for me. But again, a chance for some people to show up and play well. Again, I thought Glizzy played well. Heard good things about Swag, and really no secret at this point if Balls to You does actually ghost us and these messages are all lies and Jarvis can't get in touch with them and has to leave a bunch of voicemails that never get returned. Swag will be the pickup for us. So I thought he played pretty well in his minutes, and I've kind of had my eye on him the last couple of minor seasons as a fourth ball offense option. So we'll see how that goes. Don't really care too much about the other series. I did watch Microphone Hunt versus Boosty Boys at the hotel. You had Spear, I think, missed the home map game, showed up for the rest of the series. I think, somewhat surprisingly, they just blew out Microphone Hunt, and 2 games they go 8-4, 11-4. Both Aceda games. Mike Hunt dealing with some lag issues. I know Rudy missed a couple minutes there. There were 2 games with a significant 3v4. So, there's a cope angle for sure there. But No Name, I will leak GM chat. No Name did put just about everyone on the trading block after that series versus Boosty Boys. So, he's obviously, despite the lag issues, internet issues, clearly discontented with something. Favorite scent of candle? I can't say I have one. Probably something. If there's a shea butter, that's probably what I go for. Yeah, so that's week 1. Big winners. Sugar. Really just Sugar kind of won the week. A couple of my Mooper teams, they kind of proved my point, right? Like I said, Papranos go 4-1. We the People go 4-1, albeit not playing against my Dino, right? ICP struggling a little bit, but I think, again, against Sugar, you can understand that. And we don't have anyone in the waiting room yet. I'm happy to ramble, but again, if you have a take you want to share, hop in the Picurious Discord. We've got a Nightcap waiting room channel. Hang out there, I'll bring you in, we can get your call. I just talked about home maps a little bit. I thought overall, I thought it was a good ad. We got to play Joji 2021. That was House Freedom Block as his home map. It was fine. I I will say the only criticism I have, a lot of these maps aren't really, they're just not super creative. They're not really pushing the envelope in a good way. Like a lot of them are just reused old competitive maps. So we talked Joji, Vardo. Although I'll admit it was an interesting version of Vardo. It's like you remember HG used to make mini maps. That kind of what this reminds me of. Very shrunken down, very tight. Took away the top gate. Yeah. So that was interesting. The green beans map, I'm definitely not looking forward to. I don't remember if we played them or not. But just what a brutal map. And they lost it 4-1 too. That's what they deserve. Alright, classic question. Which team proves the most in week 2? Well, I think initially, just off the bat, this is gonna sound like such a biased answer, but Ball Too Well versus Rotatos. I think if we get balls to you back, they get Elden back. It's time to like that's the series that tells us who's actually bad. You know, who's actually like a terrible team. If we get balls to you back and we dominate, well, God, you can forget about week 1, right? Or at least to the point where we're not dead in the water. If Ball Too Well gets Elden back and we still get shut down with balls to you in the lineup, that's, I mean, season's over for sure. No other, like, I think Green Beans versus We the People in week 2. That's another really interesting one. Green Beans went 3-2. You know, against Nuclear Jutes, who I don't think are top of the table, but do have like a huge carry ball in the King. So taking 3 out of 2 against them, somewhat in convincing fashion. I think We the People are gonna be a real test for them. You know, to kind of figure out whether they're part of that big average or if they're in that contender tier. And then, I guess you look at the top of the list here, Powerpuff Girls, Watson Tea Party. Dominant performances from both. Can Refined and company slow down Sugar? We shall see. Alright, we got some people in here. Let me go beast mode to start. Beast, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. What you got, man?
Alright. So I got a take for you.
Let me hear it.
This new pizza place opened across the street from me maybe a month ago. Oh. They do calzones there. I love calzones. I don't know about you. But
yeah, absolutely.
Tonight's the night I decide to try the calzone. And they give me the calzone with obviously a cup of marinara sauce, but the marinara sauce is straight out of the fridge, probably like right next to the ice container. So it's like a 35-degree cup of marinara sauce. Like, why are you doing that? Like, I got ice cold marinara sauce that I'm putting on my like warm calzone. Why do they think that works? Is that normal?
In my experience, that's not normal.
So that's my take. If you're gonna open a new pizza place across the street from me, then the marinara sauce that you give with the calzone, it's got to be warm.
That's
ideally hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Jarvis, get out of here. Sidestepping calzones for a second. As a CRC member, what's your official stance on how week 1 went?
I don't know. Like I can't say it went bad. Like,
well, so home maps, the away team won 7 out of 9. Thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. I got takes on home maps. So
yeah.
if I'm gonna rate the concept as of today, where we stand right now, I think as a concept, it's like an S tier concept. It's something that should be in competitive tag pro forever. But where we are with the current execution of it in year one, we're probably at around a B right now. I think I think when teams actually like start to realize that they could leverage a home map pick to their advantage, and that's when we're gonna start to see it turn out really good. But when half of the maps are kind of older, like TPM maps that no one has a real advantage on, and then there's like a few meme maps in there.
Yep.
There's not too many that have like a really strong advantage at this point. I think I'm on my third team right now, so I've had the pleasure of having 3 home maps.
Yeah, good for you.
My latest one right now is Smirk, which I actually think is a type of map that is a great pick for a home map. Where we got a few old balls on my team. We got 2P, we got RB. And we know how to play it, and we looked good on it in scrims. So I think once teams start to actually figure out how to pick and play to their advantage, that's when it's going to really start to evolve as a concept. But I think for now, I think it's still interesting. A lot of teams lost on it. I was on my second team in week 1 when I played on Geo Koala against whatever that dumb team name is, and we beat them in overtime. So
Yeah.
That's a unique one where like they had a lot of old balls. Our team really didn't. It was just me and Selfie. So yeah, TBD how it evolves. I'm definitely interested in it. I think majors it actually looked a little more interesting, where I think teams seem to have picked a little more according to their skill. But
Yeah.
minors, 18 teams, it's a crapshoot anyway.
That's
so.
true, and I think we've only seen 9 maps so far, right? We've still got half the teams to play on their home map, so potential for improvement. We get to play ours this upcoming week, so I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a ton of improvement, and I think what we're definitely going to see is by the end of the season, you're going to have a group of teams where it seems like they are great on their home maps. And when you're looking at what happens in playoffs at that point, I think that's where the concept starts to really evolve and get a little more interesting.
Yeah. Question from MC Rod in chat. What if there are home maps, but it's a pool of 30-something maps pre-picked by the map committee to choose from? Thoughts on that?
I don't like it.
And I'm with you on that. I think, and sorry to interrupt, but the reason being, that pool of 30-something maps, that's basically what we're seeing right now anyway, probably, right? I mean, it's just
a lot of the teams,
there's a lot of old competitive maps,
There's like this like ideal future world where teams are creating maps essentially to their strengths.
Agreed.
And ideally in like the competitive spirit of the league, but that's where it could get, and I think limiting to like 30 like MC Ride or Flaccid Trip maps kind of dulls it down.
Sure.
One other thing which I don't like about the concept actually is scrims are a little weird. Like I don't like scrimming on someone else's home map that I'm never gonna play.
It is definitely strange. I really don't know what a solution would be to it though. If you're gonna have home maps, scrims are just gonna be unique, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how your sessions have gone, but like at least for my 3 teams, it's typically you'll do the typical maps in a scrim session, like maybe like 2 or 3 times each, and then you'll do like 1 of each home map for the week.
Yeah, that's basically how it's worked out for us. Yeah. So I mean, and even if teams have their home map picked, the amount of time they're getting on it, not maybe as much compared to the other maps that week, just because no one wants to scrim on a map they're not playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So. Okay. Anything else you want to comment on the 3 teams that you've been on? What that experience has been like?
Yeah, I could go off about all 3 of them if you want.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
What was the first one I was on? What are they called?
I honestly have no idea, dude. You got traded so many times.
The Sugar Team.
Yeah,
Right,
Power Girls, yeah.
Let me take you through the draft. So, who nominates me? The Epic Blob nominates me early, which is just like bizarre. because I'm not good at this game, so I figured I'd be one of the last picks. So
Sure.
I see my name on the board. He nominates me. I figure he wants me, but he doesn't bid for me at all. So right away, I'm thinking about like who are my good friends who are captains? Oh, maybe like Anka, maybe like Nameless. No, you guys don't bid on me either. Not even 10 coin. Like so I'm feeling great here. Um, so I think Sugar maybe goes for like does like a one bid, and I'm like lit. Like obviously you want to be on the best player's team,
Yep.
especially if you're gonna go for a little. And then fucking what's his name? Penis Wing starts bidding on me. That's like a Creo scenario there if I get on Penis Wing's team. I'm about to call up Homie, I'm about to call up Anti-Re, uh file to become their brother by marriage or something and pull the same shit. But luckily Sugar I think did like a few jumps over to like a 5 bid, and that scared Penis Wings. He was like, "All right, I don't want to risk getting beast mode on my team." So Sugar wins me.
Yep.
I'm feeling great. I'm like, "All right, I'm finally gonna like win a Mooper Bowl or something," and I'm trying to think. Was there a football game on? Yeah, I think there was a football game on.
Yeah.
So I wasn't paying too much attention to the draft. Next thing you know, we have D-Rec on the team for like 35 tag coins.
Huge
D-Rec
steal.
sucks ass. He's shit at tag, bro.
What?
No, that's not a steal at all.
What?
You see it in the scrims also. This guy doesn't know
Bro,
how to
he's
play at
like
all.
top 5 in
So-
pre-vendor returns right now.
All right, well, it's a fluke week. So we get D-Rec on the team. I'm like, all right, this is really weird. And I think either before that or after that, Sugar pings me. He's like, hey, do you have beef with Balls to You? I'm like, no, I don't beef with anyone. I'm beast mode. I'm the fucking man.
Right.
So I'm expecting like Balls to You and Sugar and me, and it was just going to be a sick team. And next thing you know, we get D-Rec, who's got the mechs of paraplegic. So that's what it looks like. I think with the last pick, we end up with a Darsh, who I'm like, all right, actually, I really like playing with a Darsh. I had a season with him once. While this is happening before the end of the draft, Sugar's like typing in GM's chat, when can we start dropping players?
Correct.
And like, I didn't even know what that was about. I was thinking maybe me, but without even telling anyone, he drops a Darsh, picks up Smoji, who I've actually never even heard of. So there we
Good
are.
player.
Us four, me, Sugar, what was going to be a Mooper team, and then, Smoji, who I don't know, and D-Rec, who doesn't, like, know how to play Tag Pro anymore.
And again, just for the record, D-Rec number 2 in returns, number 3 in prevent, but go ahead.
Yeah, let's keep watching the season, Anka.
Yeah.
It's the Sugar effect.
Yeah.
We have 1 week of scrims, and I think Sugar's trying to figure out who should be playing what position. But I think I was on O the entire time. Maybe I don't even remember if I was on D, but it was I think like Sugar and Smoji maybe flipping back and forth. We were playing against Flaccid's team, which is a very good team.
Yeah.
We ended up I think losing all of the games or most of them, and then we won the last 2 games out of the scrim sesh.
Yep.
Right away I knew Sugar might not be too happy with the performance, considering in GM's chat that night I think he said something like, I don't know how I didn't scream at all you guys. In GM's chat, this isn't like a DM.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, that was good.
get a ping from Nameless. Maybe a day later, he's like, "Hey, might trade for you. You have to come to 2 scrim sessions a week if you want this to happen." So obviously, I was gonna do the 2 scrim sessions a week until the trade deadline, and then never show up for a scrim ever again.
Yeah.
Trade happens. I'm pretty psyched, and let me tell you about this over the pants handoff team. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
OPH team. It was actually a really fun bunch. Selfie. It was actually my first time being a teammate of his, even though we've both been playing this game for like 10 years. Great dude. Clue, really never played with him. I don't think he's particularly good at Tag Pro. Great dude, though. Love playing with him. Let me tell you about this guy, Ted. Ted is Nameless's pet project.
I know he is.
He's got, like, the most insane mechs for a guy I've never seen before. Like wipes the floor with, like, me, Selfie, and Clue from a mech standpoint. Doesn't really know how to play Tag Pro that well, and I think that's probably going to be the biggest hurdle for the team. Just, like, trying to get this guy to, like, figure out the game. But he's pretty sick, and he reminds me of my old protege. He reminds me of Thad Castle in a way. Definitely has an attitude, insane mechs, sky high potential. So
You know,
excited to see how that goes. And now I'm on the Team Cat Posse where it's me, 2P, who this is our third season together, so we know what we're doing. And then RP Bear.
yeah.
So and then some other guy. I think we have a fourth teammate.
Yeah, so they traded you for Hugh, which I think made sense from OPH's perspective.
So we actually scrimmed them the next week, or the next day, and I thought he was actually looking kind of good on defense. He
Yeah.
was like, he has like a very good like contain, and like he's the opposite of me. I just like run at people and miss.
Yeah. I will say I did, and we talked about it in DMs some. I did try to trade for you, and then Nameless, I guess, got a better offer with Hugh.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised at that. I think, driving to work that morning, and I get a ping from 2P saying I'm trading for you, which came out of left field. But I was pretty stoked because I love playing with 2P.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, we got a couple other people waiting in VC here, so unless you got something else, I'm gonna bring him on in.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. If you ever open a pizza place, the marinara needs to be hot. That's all.
Thank you, Beast. Alright, I'm not sure which one showed up first. I'm gonna get Russ in here. Russ, are you with us? Russell?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. What's up, man?
Anka, how you doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm good. Feeling good. So well, you can ask me any questions that you want, but I only had one thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
So tomorrow there's going to be starting majors drops, right? And the only protocol right now is whoever's the bottom of the standings gets the first go at it.
That's how I understand it, yeah.
Right. So theoretically, you or Taylor Whiff's team could get like a majors drop. It could be like Poet, Sadness, No Name, whoever it is. They're going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the current drop system?
Well, I don't know. So, like, whenever people think me and drops, they obviously go back to, I guess that was season 29 when we got Sugar in that 20-team season, which obviously shouldn't have happened. I don't know. It depends. So, like, you got people in chat saying that none of those players you listed will get dropped. That might be true. I think anytime you let a team drop their worst player, and if you're a last place team, it's gonna be someone like a Pass the Flag, or like a Steve Potato or a Goizy or whoever, right? And to replace
like a borderline.
a
football.
borderline novice player to someone who can compete on a majors roster. I mean, it's a huge boost to a team, and whether you think that's fair, I don't know, but it's also not terribly fair to have someone have their season end because they got drafted as a fringe fourth ball in majors and then no one wanted them either.
Right.
It's hard. I think overall I'm okay with it. It definitely does destroy the parity towards the bottom of the lead, though, right? Because let's say you only have one majors drop. Well, there are 4 or 5 teams that are really bad, and only one of them is getting a boost. It's definitely unfair, but
yeah,
there's no easy answer to it, I think.
Yeah, I think like last season with Depths and just the way it worked out, there weren't any majors drops.
Yeah.
So that's kind of always the risk. But I know Spheroid can be pretty annoying, and I'm not his biggest fan. But I do like how we do it for the minors to novice drop right now, and how you can't just get the player for free. Basically, you have to bid or substitute with a different player. So, like, for example, if Balls to You was being difficult, you could bid balls to you and then pick up the majors drop, and it's kind of a system that way where you don't drop your 4th ball. You actually have to give up a better player to get a majors drop, if that makes sense.
Well, so
It kind of just.
I guess my question would be, so like, let's say I'm in last, right, and I get first prio. I guess in this bidding system you have, what determines the value of the player you're bidding?
The coins.
Okay.
Any leftover coins that you have from the draft.
Well, no, so I'm saying, so like I put up balls to you, right? Like, what's stopping me
Yeah.
from putting up Adarsh as the player I want to get rid of?
You could. It would just be he'd be 12 tag coins.
So
That was
you
his
would go off
value,
draft
and-
value.
Yeah, exactly. And balls to you would be 29, and it's like a blind auction. Everybody puts their bid in, so you don't know what the other teams are doing. You just put in the highest bid that you're comfortable putting in, basically, to try to get a really good player.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I question though, like obviously we know TC value isn't always reflective of player skill, especially towards the end of the season. I'd be curious though, maybe it's I don't know. I don't know. It's hard.
It is, but I don't know. I think the draft was pretty good this season, and I'm just worried that whoever gets a major drop, it's gonna be insane for the rest of the league. But anyways, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. So refined comments, real quick, just to get your thoughts on this. So he's suggesting a majors team should be forced to trade a majors player with a minors player, and that player and minors team have to agree to the quote unquote trade. So basically a trade between tiers rather than an ad drop.
Right.
Which
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
I don't, but you're not, you know.
But then it's tough. Like if we were to lose refined and pick up
Right.
somebody who doesn't really want to play in minors.
Right. So if
that
you're a
could be-
top 2 team,
Yeah.
you're never, if you're the captain and not the player getting called up, you're never going to agree to trade your player, I would assume.
Right.
I don't know, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's tough. Alright, I'll let somebody else hop in, but that's all I wanted to get your thoughts on.
Appreciate it, Russ.
Thanks.
See? Alright, Yelp was waiting long enough. Let's try to get Yelp in here. Yelpa, how are you?
Hi. こんばんは。お元気ですか? Hey, Anka.
What's going on?
I was not prepared for this. I was prepared for this during the novice draft, but now I've forgotten my notes. What did I want to talk about? Oh, you going to the game tomorrow?
I'm not.
Oh, darn. You gonna watch the game?
That's the plan.
Good.
Yeah.
Should be exciting. Power is kind of out near the stadium.
Oh,
but,
boy.
Yeah, there was a fire in downtown Baltimore
I did not hear about that.
a couple days ago. It was underground.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's causing issues. But yeah, no. Should be a good game tomorrow. Looking forward to having Mademoiselle Swift visit
Yes,
the
absolutely.
city of Baltimore and watching her boyfriend lose a football game. Good. But I guess I wanted to talk about streaming and streamer stuff.
Yeah,
and
please.
I guess other stuff that I might know about. So yeah, we've got a couple of new streamers this season. Zumi, he's been up and at 'em. He's gotten contracts already with clubs. The Logistic Map has gotten a majors contract, which is excellent to see. Tenderfella is back. Jack Dandy is back. We've got a whole bunch of streamers, but of course, you know this. We always could use a few more, especially since it seems like a lot of the top streamers historically are now currently either captaining or playing on a minors team.
Yep.
Currently, yourself, HD, Griff, but she doesn't do that anymore. They have iTag there, who's also like the top streamer in Oceania. So they've got that themselves covered, but just want to throw it out there. Anyone listening, you got people. I gotta get Hugh started, by the way. You got people who wanna do the stream thing. I see Mania's waiting in the waiting room as well. So everyone, just reach out. We'll get you started Flaccid can help you. Bald Eagle can help you. I can help you. You can help them if
Yep.
you want to. Yeah, just we'll just load up OBS. I'll give you some scripts and go nuts. Go nuts. Speaking of scripts, have you seen the script on the Reddit front page or the
Is-
Reddit page?
I saw a script posted in the Discord. Is that the pub kind of elo thing?
Ranked pubs.
Yep.
Yeah. Anam made it. Anam, he is the current dictator of Europe. It is very comprehensive. It's a stopgap script for a concept that I can't speak about anymore, but it is a script that takes your pub results and gives you a true skill score for those pub results, and then ranks those true skill scores and shows you how well you're playing, not just based on score, but based on your actual prowess and gaming ability to contribute to a win, and how that looks over time for every public game. All you have to do is play under your registered name, and your data is covered and listed, and it's nice and prettified and all of that. And yeah, Jazz is apparently very good at this.
Very cool.
Yeah. I really wish I remembered what I wanted to talk about. How is playing with Jarvis going for you so far?
You know, it's hard to say. From a gameplay perspective, week 1, we were just so lost without balls to you. It's hard to comment. I felt like I got frustrated with him a little bit towards the end of the series. I didn't let him know that, but it was definitely, again, I think because balls to you was missing, was just kind of playing for fun, as the egg ball community likes to say.
I'm one of those for fun players. I gotcha.
Yeah, so that frustrated me a little bit. I think if we get balls to you in the lineup, it'll be much better. But I like Jarvis, obviously. Just last week was frustrating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you and Jarvis will work it out. You'll communicate. You'll talk it through.
Absolutely.
You'll be ready to go rip roaring and ready Monday night for whomever you play against, wherever you play against.
Yes,
Streamed
sir.
by hopefully somebody who puts on a show. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Let me hear it.
But I wanted to plug the bounties.
Oh yeah,
and
please.
I wanted to plug a couple other things. So yeah, I've got a couple bounties out there right now. I've got another one coming up starting next month. There's $10 out there for someone who can get a Mars ball map into trial rotation, and that's something I'm going to touch on again in a second. And there's also $10 out there for some Tag Pro music. You can get some Tag Pro up-tempo, down-tempo music, something exciting, and then something exciting like drum and bass, some EDM, something that gets the juices pumping but still says Tag Pro, and something that's nice and calm and refined and just in line with the expectations you have for Tag Pro music. I've got $10 out there for each of those songs, and maybe I can convince the future group to put it in the game. Speaking of, I believe there may be a future group update coming soon. And I also believe there may be an MTC update coming soon, because I've heard rumblings that March Madness 2024 is on the horizon.
Exciting.
And March Madness, if you don't know, that's a big one-night tournament where the entire community comes together and competes on maps. And it's not the teams that advance, it's the maps that advance. And in the end, the 2 best performing maps end up going into rotation automatically. So those of you who want to win the Mars Ball bounty, or those of you who have a map that you feel like the MTC hasn't really judged particularly well, you can get your shit in on this, and if the community says yes, you're in. You get the community contributor flair, you get the $10 if it's Mars Ball from me, you get all sorts of prize, fame, adulation, groupies, everything, everything.
Question from chat really quick. Deadline on your bounties, specifically the Tag Pro music. Is it there until it's claimed, or what's the situation there?
All right, the deadline on the Tag Pro music is the night of the Super Bowl. You can post it in the MTC channel on the main Discord. or you can post it on reddit.com/r/tagpro. Get it in before the Super Bowl begins. That's
Okay.
down in the net. For the Mars Ball maps, it is December 31st, 2025. Unless I pass away before that, not offer is not available to residents of Ohio.
There you go. Yelpa, thank you very much.
Thank you. Be good, everyone. Go Ravens. Boom.
All right, let's get Admania in here. He's been waiting a while. Admania, if you can hear me, let me know. If you can't, that's okay too.
Yo,
What's going on, man?
yo, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing good. Very busy day, but very fun day.
Awesome. What do you have on your mind?
Well, for one, I think, well, I might talk a little bit about novice because I find it interesting that I'm a novice, but I subbed for Mercury Revolutions, and that was interesting because I think their team is pretty good. Like, I'm pretty impressed with what I saw, and I think they're pretty underrated.
What in particular stood out to you about him?
I think Logi for 0TC was pretty steely, honestly. Like, just him, like, if he gets a mechanical person behind him, he's kind of secretly mechanical. Like, he will cap if you give him good handoff opportunities, and that's kind of what happened. I believe the only problem, I believe we were up, like, for a lot of the games, but a lot of leads kind of slipped, which is intriguing, but I'm sure they'll only get better with time.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, we kind of talked about this series a little bit earlier. I think We the People, like I've said, is probably competing for a championship. So, and not to denigrate you, but to have them sub you in, and miss maybe their top offender.
Yeah.
That's certainly not a bad performance to have put up against them.
Yeah, because I kind of felt like it could have gone both ways, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't like either team, like, completely would have destroyed, but it was, I wouldn't call it a coin flip, but...
Sure. So you said you maybe want to touch on novice too, since that's where you were drafted.
Yeah. So for novice, I think our team that I got prelim to, ACS, I'm not, like, super duper confident, but I, like, after scrimming, because our team didn't really scrim all that much, and we played the Dolphins, we won 3-2, but our team really didn't scrim that much, and I feel like our chemistry is already, like, very insane. We have Tinder, who's also in minors and is really good, who impressed me on his off position.
Yeah, so Tinder's interesting to me. I didn't really talk about him before, but like you said, in minors, and they, like, his team in minors, I thought played super well this week, and so he's a DEP for novice, obviously, like you said. Super. I guess I'm curious what you think about him being a DEP. Do you think having him in novice is maybe game breaking, not the right word, but unfair in some aspect, or do you think his skill level is still kind of appropriately within what novice should be?
I'm not sure, because I could argue that I think you can make the argument that he could be game breaking, but I don't think so, especially because he is playing his off position.
Sure.
But I feel like, oh, yeah, I don't think he's necessarily game breaking, and not only because he's on our team, but he still went for like a very decent amount of PCs. So I feel like with him going for I think like 51, and then me also being like a prelim and us having like 65 TCs, it's a lot harder to find like steal third and fourth balls.
No, that's
But-
very true. And that's and not to like pump myself up, but that's usually the problem I have when I captain minors is, you know, you get rated at this level that values you pretty highly, and then, you know, you run into trouble trying to fill out, you know, your third and fourth balls. Yeah, so it's an interesting drafting challenge for sure.
Because I do think there are a lot of like fringe novice players that could be like fourth balls, but it really depends on fit, which it really changed like the perspective of people down novice. But a lot of people did sub, and I think they did pretty decently, I would say.
Yeah, I would say the majority of the players who did sub week 1 for minors, I thought they all performed fairly well. Yeah.
Yeah, because Swag, I think, definitely interested me. He's, of course, a very high upside player with lots of mechs. And I would be surprised if he doesn't get picked up, but I think he also mentioned Glizzy. Glizzy's pretty good.
Yeah, time will tell, but I think any of those players that subbed, including yourself week 1, they've got a fairly strong argument to be a call up for some team. And you know, and it's almost guaranteed. I think 1 or 2 of you will get a call up, and it's just how it goes, right? The teams always kind of tinker with their fourth balls, especially if they're down in the standings a little bit. So, we do have Flaccid in the waiting room, so if you don't mind, I'm going to bring him in here.
Alright, sounds good. Thank you, and go Lions.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What's up, Flaccid?
Oh, I'm live.
You're live. Is that an issue?
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
Sorry, I was still listening to the stream.
All good.
I've turned it off since. I just want to say I think Edmania isn't giving enough gas to his boy Tinder. Tinder is absolutely a game breaker.
Let me hear it.
Monster. Absolute monster. I think he had the 90-17-ish this week, and like some of the smartest holds I've seen. You've seen Spear do it last season. You saw Ball Saget do it the season before. You saw Kelvin do it back in season 27. When you have somebody who can just outhold the rest of the league on your team, that's a game breaker in novice. And Tinder's doing that, and he's on D. He's not our top 2 guy, and he's the best one in the league. We got Edmania and the Thad Castle of novice. Many people are calling Avzi, Smalley's protege. This man is a ball of clay who will emerge as a novice staple after this season. I love our team. It's great, and I saw a window for me to sneak in and gas up my novice team, and I pounced. So,
couple questions though. Couple questions.
Sure.
Let me start with Absy. Call him a future novice staple. Is that not a bad thing?
Well, I just don't think he's a novice staple yet, so that's still upwards. I mean, he was like
from ball of clay to novice staple. That's an upgrade.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
He was a bottom 4 pick. I think his trajectory is like he looked kind of bad in our first night of scrims. He looked really good in our first game, and there wasn't really anything that we did in between there. So I'm very encouraged by that.
Okay, and then my
I'm
second
excited to see
question.
how we can go the rest of the season. Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
no, my bad. Second question was, you spent the second most TC in the draft on Tinder. Is that not what you expect statistically out of a guy who went second overall?
Yeah, right. He's been exactly up to expectation.
Yeah.
That was the game plan from the start, and I probably fumbled in the nom order. We probably could have gotten, we potentially could have gotten. I can't say probably because I don't know what Pass the Flag would have done with his coins, but I think we could have maybe gotten Tinder cheaper if I had nommed him right away when it got to our nom instead of waiting, and then he wound up being nommed like 7 noms later, and the whole time we're sitting there like waiting, saving our TCs for him, so we were out on the bidding on a lot of different players. So our team could have looked massively different had I approached that differently. But no, it's been as advertised for what we thought he could be.
Okay. And then since I will ask you, since I was talking about your series to start, you had sent some chat messages about it. What is wrong with the Pop Fusties? Why are they bad?
I think they're they can play a little erratic. Like they're all capable of doing like really sick like either like a back boost or a boost cap. Like Irony and Button are capable of like really sick highlight caps, and Cheese Doodle can like knock down these like backwards boosts and stuff. And but if those types of plays aren't hitting, then there's a lot of meat left on the bone. And I sat through on the Pop Fusties VOD review with Griff and iTag just because they were hanging out where I hang out, and like the amount of like it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds. I think we did an okay job of taking advantage of it, but I don't think it was like a dominant performance by us by any means, especially not myself. I think I played awful this week. So I think a lot of it was self-inflicted wounds. So if they like get that sorted out, I think they can be a lot better and be like a little more cohesive.
Sure.
Just a little more cohesion would go a long way on that team.
Gotcha.
And then shit, there was one other thing I was gonna say, but I can't remember. It must not have been that important. Oh, I was just gonna gasp at Mania a little bit too. He balled out in minor. Maybe balled out's not the right term, but his team impressed. I thought when he was subbing in, it didn't look completely out of place or anything like that, which is sometimes what you get. He has 58 ownish, so it's in minors, so it's not bad. Like balling out, but that's a minors player on our novice team.
Agree.
Another one, so yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think not looking at a place for a lot of loans and call-ups, that's half the battle. Once you show you can hang, and then it's just you keep getting reps and getting better at that level, you know.
Agreed.
So yeah,
all right, great show.
Yep, thank you, Flash.
I've
Appreciate
enjoyed it immensely. Thanks for having me on.
Yep, see you, man. All right, that's probably where we're gonna leave off here. We talked about week 2 a little bit. What teams we're looking at in week 2. So kind of covered that. Probably, gave my preseason award predictions and 18 thoughts. I would have to go look. I think the clear MVP favorite right now is Trigger. Yes, just pure statistically. I know Beast Mode doesn't think much of him. D-Rec is probably your DBOS, right? Hard to call it off 1 week. We'll see what things look like at the mid-season mark, but. Last chance for anyone to hop in Nightcap waiting room VC. We'll give it a minute or two. Omni certainly looking like a good pick for best value after week 1. There's no doubt about that. And after week 2, if we do not get balls to you for week 2, catch me ghosting this season. Feelings on Pill. Is that what? Is that in? It is. Okay, so Pepsi and milk. It probably sounds gross, but like so. I can't remember how long ago this was. Like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, maybe. Maybe it was further, but that like I came across Pepsi coffee for the first time. Like Coke coffee had always been a thing, but I never tried it. And I was in the grocery store and I saw Pepsi coffee, like combo, and I tried that, and it was weird, but like it wasn't that bad. And I kind of feel like milk is probably not that bad either, Like you're a couple of steps away from an ice cream float, right? So it really can't be that bad. And correct, no swag until we get a majors drop. Although, admittedly, it's not as fun if I can't drop my 4th ball for the majors drop, and I have to, lose balls to you for that. But all right, that will do it for us. Appreciate everyone that tuned in, called in. We cannot. Don't talk about Beast Mode. Yeah, appreciate all you that tuned in, called in. Can't do it without you. So, good luck in your week 2 games, and we'll probably do this again around the midseason. Look for an 18 thoughts around the midseason mark 2, and we'll see you next time. See you, everyone.